In today's video, we're doing all new Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs. Last year, I created a lot of Christmas decor in the gingerbread style, and I know that was a popular item that I saw on high-end sites like Pottery Barn. This year, I wanted to go to Pottery Barn again and see what inspiration they had. They had some gingerbread houses this year, but they were in more light colors. I really liked the way that looked, and I wanted to show you how to recreate those. So you're going to need some houses for this DIY. You can pick houses up at the thrift store. I found these two ceramic ones, or you can go to Dollar Tree and find their smaller houses. So I have a variety here and I'm going to show you on both of them. And I think you can honestly combine both types of houses. So start by spray painting your houses. Now, like the Pottery Barn houses, I wanted them to be a lighter color. So I decided to go with the color Sand Dollar. I'm going to spray 2 coats on each of the houses. Now, once they're completely dry, you're gonna bring them inside. I got out a variety of paint brushes, and then I'm also going to be using red and green acrylic paint. So put those out on your board, and you kind of wanna use smaller brushes for this, just to make sure that it's nice and detailed. And this is where you wanna be really artistic. Go in with all your colors. Add green to the trees, green to the wreaths. If you see any bows you wanna make red, you could do that. Make a red door. You could also add in trim to any of your houses. And I did this with all of the houses that I picked up, and each and every one looked completely different. It was a lot of fun to make these. And you can put these out in a grouping and they look gorgeous for the holidays, and I think really high end. Let's talk using borax to make ornaments. Now, I've done this before. In years past, I've made borax ornaments, and they're kind of tricky to make. You never really know how much borax to use, how much water to use. I've also put borax on pumpkins, but I wanted to try to create some glass ornaments using borax. Again, this was kind of a tricky project to do, but I'm going to show you what I did. You're going to need a designated pot for this. I have a pot at my house that literally says borax on the side because I only use this for borax crafting. So you're going to use 4 cups of water for 8 tablespoons of borax. So I put 12 cups of water into my pot. And what you're going to do is you're going to heat it up right before it starts to boil. Then you're going to add in your borax. I ended up adding in 24 tablespoons. And then you're just going to mix that together until the borax is dissolved. You don't need to boil it, it just needs to be heated up. So that part went pretty good, but here comes the tricky part. So I first thought for these ornaments that I needed some kind of string wrapped around my ornaments in order to make the borax stick to the ornaments. So I hot glued string around my ornaments. You want to attach your ornaments to the board so that they can hang down in the water. So I'm just going to use some string to attach them on there. I also, any strings that are hanging down, you want to tape those up. Well, once I did that, I realized when I put them into hot water, guess what happened? I melted the string off of the glass ornament. So that was a really bad idea. So I don't recommend doing that unless you let your water cool down a little bit. It would probably work. So that failed for me. Now, the other problem that I ran into with these ornaments was they were not going down into the water. They weren't heavy enough to go into the water. So I thought, okay, what am I gonna do here? So I went and got some rocks from my craft room. I added rocks and I thought, this is perfect. They are now going to stay down into the water. Well, that worked for one of them. The other one was too heavy and that one kind of fell off of the top piece. So at this point, I didn't really know what to do. So I just kind of left them in the water. Now with borax, you want to allow crystallization to happen, and that takes at least 24 hours. So I just left them in there. And I have to tell you, they ended up staying in the water where they were needing to, and they crystallized. So after about 24 hours, I took them out, I removed the rocks from the inside, and I don't know, they looked pretty cool. I added the tops back on and I added a little bit of red ribbon. You'll have to let me know what they look like. Do they look perfect? No, but they're kind of cool. What do you do with those lampshades that maybe you have from old light fixtures or you find at the thrift store? You can turn them into bells. So you're gonna need two things. You're gonna need the lampshade. You're also going to need this Dollar Tree ornament. Now, this was the one that I found that worked. I tried a bunch of different ones, but this Dollar Tree ornament was the best. So I'm gonna start by removing the bottom piece to this ornament. So I cut it off and then I'm just going to tie it in place so it only has 3 ornaments long. And then I wanted to add the tassel to the end. So I took the tassel and I hot glued it to the bottom of the 3rd ornament. When I hang these up, you're going to be able to see the bottom wood piece. So there was a letter on there. So I sanded that off with some heavy grit sandpaper. Next, to attach them to those glass lampshades, you're going to add a little bit of E6000 on the top of the ornament. Then you're just going to string it through the lampshade. Now, this just needs time to dry, so you're going to hang it up and let it dry completely. Repeat this for your 2nd lampshade. Now you have 2 bells that were so easy to recreate, and you can reuse items that you might already have on hand. Let's put together some easy Christmas wall art. So start with 2 large canvases and you're going to spray paint them with a deep green color. When you do this, make sure that you get the spray paint along the edges as well as the top. Now, I thought I was gonna be able to do this in just 2 coats. It actually took me 3 coats. You wanna make sure you have a nice smooth finish across the top of your canvas. Once it's completely dry, you're going to add on some ribbon. The first ribbon I'm using is a red ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree. So you're gonna start with your longer piece and you're going to cut it off and hot glue it to the back. Now with your other piece, I'm going to wrap it around the back and then pull it up so I had enough so that I could tie a bow with. And to do this bow, I'm just going to wrap both of the pieces around the ribbon that I already put in. I'll tie it in a knot and then I'll create a bow. Fluff your bow up, make it the size that you want, and then you can cut off the excess on the ends. I'm gonna repeat these steps with a silver ribbon. These are great for hanging on your wall or putting on your mantle for the holiday season. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is Christmas. What are you supposed to do with those $5 wreaths that they're selling right now at Dollar Tree? Let me show you how to make a centerpiece with this. So you're gonna start with the $5 wreath. I didn't really like the way those berries look, so I cut those off. I also cut the little loop that you could hang it up with. And then using some of Dollar Tree's Christmas picks that they have, I went with these berry ones that they had. I just cut them off and I put them into the wreath because a lot of times they don't make their wreaths full enough. I also had to add in some other greenery pieces because it just was a little sparse. So I'm gonna put those in. Honestly, I just stuck them in. I didn't even have to glue them, and add as many until you're happy with the way it looks. I wanted to recreate this look that I saw on Pottery Barn's website where they had all these really pretty candles in the middle. So from Dollar Tree, I got several glass containers. I even found this set of tea light holders that was a 4 count for $1.25. I sprayed all of the containers with a gold spray paint. I'm gonna place all of the candle holders in the middle of my wreath and then add in some tea lights, and then I also added in some larger white candles. This makes such a great centerpiece and it's pretty easy to put together. Let's decorate my tumbler cup for the holidays. If you have a bunch of buttons hanging around your house or in your craft room, let me show you how you can create an ornament with them. So you're going to need a pipe cleaner. You just want to take that pipe cleaner and fold it over about an inch on the end. Next, you can add on your buttons. Now, this can be really strategic using a pattern, or you could put just all different colors and sizes on there. I had a button pack that had white, red, and green, so I put all the buttons out and I did a little pattern with mine, but really anything goes. So just start lacing your buttons onto your pipe cleaner. And then when you think you have enough, just see if they'll connect at the top. If you need to add some more buttons, do that as well. Once you get to the end, you're just going to take it and twist it together because you have this nice pipe cleaner. I also made a little loop at the top and twisted that. And then to finish it off, you can add a ribbon to it or any kind of twine. This would be a great craft to do with your kids or grandkids. For this next craft, you're going to need 2 tapered candles and a fine tip gold paint pen. We're gonna try to create some stars onto these tapered candles. I saw these candles on Anthropologie's website and really liked the way they looked. So I'm gonna start with a gold paint pen, and to make those stars, I'm just going to use a cross pattern on the candle. Now, this was a little bit harder to do than I thought because the wax got on my paint pen, so the paint wasn't coming out great. So every time I used it, I would have to shake the pen and kind of dab it onto my table. But I was able to figure out how to get the paint out, and I just created larger stars and smaller stars on my candles. I repeated these steps on my second candle. Now you do want to let this dry, and you could use any candle holders. I found these 2 candle holders from Dollar Tree that I'm going to use. I'll place them inside and they're the perfect holiday candles. The next time you're at Dollar Tree and you're in the glassware section, keep an eye out for these large glass vases. Now they are $5, but they're quite a bit larger. For this next DIY, I picked up some rhinestone stickers off of Amazon. I thought these rhinestone stickers would be perfect to recreate this dupe that I saw on Pottery Barn's website. So I'm gonna peel the rhinestones off of the backing and I'm gonna place them onto the middle of the jar. And then I continue to do this with just staggering the stickers around as I was going. Next, I'm going to spray paint the bottom side of this with the color Sand Dollar. After that dries, I'll flip it over and spray paint the top. This is a great container that you can put out for the holidays. Don't throw out all your leftover costume jewelry. Let me show you how you could use it to decorate for the holidays. Now you're going to need costume jewelry. You're also going to need a foam cone. Take your costume jewelry and you're gonna start by disassembling it. You want to cut off all of the clasps, all of the fasteners, so that you just are left with the jewels that are in your costume jewelry. I think for this DIY, it's definitely great to have a variation in colors. Once you get all of your necklaces disassembled, you could also use bracelets or earrings. You're going to start hot gluing these pieces to your foam cone. And there's really no right or wrong way to do this. I started with my larger pieces and then started adding and mixing and matching different colors and hot gluing those on. You are going to have to try to like fill in holes because you don't want to see any white underneath. Now this does take a little bit of time to do, but it's so fun and it's a great way to reuse costume jewelry. You could put this out as part of your holiday decor. Do you guys remember the last time I was shopping at Dollar Tree and I found this macrame Santa kit? A lot of times I get these kits and they're honestly a little bit tricky to figure out how to put together. So I thought, let me see if I can put together this macrame Santa. So I opened it up and I looked at the directions, and I have to tell you, these directions did not make any sense to me, but they did have a picture. So I thought, you know what, as long as it has a picture, I think I could figure this out. So I'm gonna show you how I put this together. Is it exactly like the directions? Probably not, but it worked. So you're gonna start with the wood circle, and then there's a cardboard piece. You wanna wrap the cardboard piece around that circle, and you're going to tape it in place. This is going to be the thing that creates the little brim to your hat. So next, what you're going to do is you're going to cut your red twine. I started by figuring out how long I wanted the first piece to be. And it does give you instructions on the loop knot you're going to be using. The cool thing is you use the same loop knot for the beard that you use for the hat, so it's pretty easy to do. So figure out how long you want that first piece and then cut all of your red pieces that exact size. You're just gonna start by looping them onto the hat. I started in the middle and worked my way out to the edge. Now you're not going to have enough pieces to go to the very back, but that's okay because I don't think you really need it. So the next direction says to basically take that and put it onto the wood piece. I did hot glue this in place because I thought this is going to need to stay in place. Now the other thing you're going to be given is a wood bead. You want to take the white twine and tie that around your white bead. This is going to be the string that goes up through your hat. So you want to do this first before you put your hat together. And again, I just hot glued the top half of this wood bead underneath my hat. I strung the white piece through the top, tied that off. Next, I'm going to make my hat. So I gathered up that red twine. I took one of my pieces of red twine, wrapped it around, and tied it to the back. You only need one piece of red twine for this. Then you're gonna cut off the excess to your red hat. You can kind of fray the top if you like. Now from there, you're gonna do the beard. That's kind of your final step. Again, measure how long you want your beard pieces to be, and then you're gonna use that same knot to put those onto the wood ring. Now I found that they didn't really give us enough macrame, and I was gonna add some macrame, but I thought, you know what? I wanna show you guys exactly what came in this kit, and I don't really feel like you needed to cover that entire wood bead, but it wasn't really enough to cover it. I guess I could have put my hat down a little bit farther, but I just looped those through there, and then you do want to fray the pieces out to make your beard. You can also cut them so that they go at an angle. Now, I don't know if I followed the directions, but I think it turned out pretty cute. Now, if you like a subtle holiday look, you might want to do this next DIY. So you're going to need a Dollar Tree green frame. You're also going to need one of the winter style pictures they have out at Dollar Tree. I went with this black and white canvas. So I disassembled the frame, and then I took out the 5x7 piece that came in the frame, and I placed it down exactly kind of where I wanted to cut my frame out. I used a box cutter to cut a little bit farther around the edges than I thought I would need. Once I got the piece cut out, I put the glass piece on the frame onto my picture so I could draw around exactly where I wanted to cut out. I traced around it, I cut it out, and then I put it back into the frame without the glass piece. I put on the backing, and this is a quick and easy neutral holiday decor that you could put out. Let me know down in the comments which of these DIYs was your favorite. I love knowing your opinion. And make sure you subscribe because I want to see you back here, and I'll see you in our next one. Bye.